Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's so good to see you. All my old friends here and Shower Door Pros. Man, got it good. Got it good. Hey, I'm so glad you could join us. I am really excited about the event tonight. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a great time. I want to remind you that if you want to join us here on the Zoom call, you can do that. Let me tell you how you do it. You go to where I posted the event. I'm posting it now on Facebook and in LinkedIn. So if you're visiting on LinkedIn, just click on the link there in the description, and it will bring you right in here to the Zoom call. And you can have a front row seat and see what's really going on. Maybe even, ask a question. Who knows? Sky's the limit. So anyway, with all of that in mind, I do have the pleasure this evening of introducing a guy who I actually met like over 20 years ago, believe it or not, here in beautiful Santa Cruz, California, cchrist. I mean, he was just hanging out here in town doing his thing. I'll let him tell you the story, but he was just kind of getting started with Diamon-Fusion back in those days. I think he'd only been with them for a while, and man, he climbed the ladder to almost to the very top of the organization, man. And really proud of him. He's a great guy. I think you're going to really enjoy listening to cchrist. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Carl. Hey, man, Mikasa Sukasa. Make yourself at home. Kick off your shoes. Talk about whatever you want, man.
Oh, thank you, Chris. And thank you for having me. It's quite an honor. I got to tell you, if you told me 20 years ago that we'd be here today on your program here, which I'm just so impressed with, I would have never believed you. Because like you said, I was just getting started and you already had
Me too, man. It's crazy how things go.
I was actually Chris was a customer of mine, and it's just amazing that we've crossed paths later on these years, and here we are. So again, thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, my pleasure, man.
Thank you, Chris. I'm the VP of Technical Services and Business Development for Diamon-Fusion. But as Chris was mentioning before that, I actually started out as a customer. I think it's kind of an important background to know about me, see where I'm coming from, because I've used our product in the real world for many, many, many years. I've started 22 years ago as a licensee. Back then, Diamon-Fusion International only had basically two ways of applying. We had the licensee model, like a franchise, which I was, and I bought territory up in Santa Cruz area. And then we had these chambers by which people could coat the machine using the chemical vapor deposition in a built chamber, using our technology. So after going through a lot of different things in my career, I Forrest Gumped my way into owning a window cleaning business, and became one of the first on-site licensees in the early days. And there wasn't a lot of guidance. We were real pioneers back then, and we only had the chemical vapor deposition, which I'll get into in a little bit. But you had the chamber that you could do it by, but if you were doing it mobily, you wore a tank of nitrogen and you had some bottles on you, and you had all this gear and you wore a mask and you look like Ghostbusters or something. And
dude, I remember that. That was wild.
Remember that? It's very sexy.
Yeah, I do, man.
It looked very impressive. And it really was, but it was very primitive at the time. But it worked, and a lot of my regular residential window cleaning customers got interested. I would end up doing their shower doors, and they loved it so much I'd end up doing their windshields and their whole houses or their railings. And we were on the coast there, so there's a lot of railings on West Side, as you know, Chris, up against the ocean. So the benefits were amazing, and so it just pretty soon I was doing more Diamon-Fusion than window cleaning because it was so lucrative. A few things, long story short, I invented some innovations for using the Diamon-Fusion technology. I brought it to DFI's attention. Lo and behold, the CEO of Diamon-Fusion, unbeknownst to me, turned out to be an old college friend of mine that we'd lost track of for 20 years. And so you talk about a small world. I brought my innovations to his attention, and we kind of ran off that road, and it just went really, really well. And that was the beginning of me becoming an actual employee of Diamon-Fusion. They brought me down south into Orange County. Irvine is where we're headquartered, about 15 years ago. And I've done a variety of things for Diamon-Fusion. We all wear a lot of hats here. We're very stealthy. But I just wanted to let you know my background, because like I said, I've applied it to virtually every surface you can in any kind of environment you can imagine. And Diamon-Fusion technology is not just for glass, by the way. It actually works on anything that's got silica dioxide in it. So it works on ceramic tile, granite, porcelain. I have done my share of toilets. I don't want to tell you how many I've applied our coating to. But glass is actually our number one application. And as you probably know, I imagine some of you have heard of us before, maybe anybody?
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody's not heard of you, right?
Well, you never know, I don't want to assume anything. So I know then, if you know about Diamon-Fusion, you'll probably know about hydrophobic coatings, protective coatings, and the like. And so I thought it maybe just to try to fill you on some things maybe you don't know about, at least about us and what we believe sets us apart. Now, this obviously is the best way to demo for the end user, primarily, how Diamon-Fusion works. It's very simple. You've probably seen some facsimile thereof of this demonstration, whereas the bottom of the glass is not coated or hydrophilic, as we like to say, or water loving. The top part of the glass has been coated with Diamon-Fusion and rendered it hydrophobic or water fearing. And when I shake that up, you can see the—
Hold up a little so we can see it.
Oh, sorry. Can you see this?
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. So when I shake it up, you can see how it still clings to the bottom. The top, it's completely dry. It wants nothing to do with the glass because it's been made extremely water repellent. So some of the science behind how we measure ourselves in the industry is by one thing called a contact angle. Now I'm going to demonstrate for you if I can. This glass is unprotected. Okay, so when I spray water on it, you can see the water lies flat. Again, hydrophilic or water loving. But when we coat it, when we have a piece of Diamon-Fusion or DFI, like people like to say, coated glass, and I spray water on it, you can see that the water beads up. Let me hold that up for you a little bit more. I'm going to try to do both.
There you go. It's tricky, huh? Yeah.
Okay, hang on with me. I'm going to gather it all up. Okay, so the measurement of the contact angle, I don't know if you can see that, is the curvature of the bead of water to the substrate itself. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. And we measure that with what's called the goniometer. And that we are known for a high contact angle, typically the high 90s. I'm trying to do this and not drop the water at the same time. High 90s, low 100s. So that is a significant contact angle. We're also known for our slide angle or coefficient of friction. And that is at what point when I tip this glass, does the water run dry? It's about 14 degrees. So
dude, you got a pretty steady hand, man.
I've done this a few times. So contact angle is a way by scientific way we measure ourselves, and coefficient of friction or slide angle. At what point does it slide off? And it runs dry. And we have, as far as I know, the lowest slide angle in the business. And we're also known for our durability. Diamon-Fusion is a two-step patented process, whether it's done with the chemical vapor deposition in a chamber, or what we have now is a FuseCube, or if it's done by hand. We have a hand application as well. So it's a two-step process. The first step goes down and anchors itself and creates what's called a covalent bond. So it actually bonds with the glass and fills in millions of these microscopic beads. It's a nanotech thin coating, so it can't yellow, peel, haze, or chip, or anything like that. And we warranty it. I'll talk about the warranties in a minute. The second step, part of the patent, is the capping effect. And that's where we get our durability. And hopefully during this presentation, I'll give you a chance to see some of the commercial projects that we've done that really speak volumes to the efficacy of the coating and the durability. Among them, Nike World Campus in Beaverton, Oregon, where we've restored and applied Diamon-Fusion to of 7.5 buildings there. Every year we would go back up there with a crew and do that work. And I think the fact that they would have us come back every year says a lot about how much they like it and how good the product works. But just to understand a little bit more about my audience here, because I want to kind of, everybody here, Tim Cannell, by the way, are you in relation to Bill Cannell?
No.
Okay, just had to check. He's one of our technicians. He used to run Solar Seal out in the Northeast in New England.
Yeah.
So
I'm over in Monterey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not far from us over here.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you at, Tim?
I'm in beautiful town down Sand City.
I know it well. Yeah, no, it's my old stomps. I grew up in, sorry folks.
That's good.
I grew up in Marina and then Pacific Grove and
Yeah.
Monterey and Carmel and all that, and then moved to Santa Cruz up where Chris is at. So yeah. But yeah, Sand City's come a long way, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's quite different than it used to be, that's for sure. So are we mostly shower doors here today? Or
I think all of us do shower doors. Some of us exclusively, some of us do, you know, a variety of things.
okay, glass railings and the like, because the fact is Diamon-Fusion, our coating is not just for shower doors, and it's for virtually any kind of glass, pattern glass, sandblasted glass, etched glass, mirrors, railings, you name it. The sky's the limit. And by the way, I bring that up because as great as it is on shower doors, and we treat shower doors all over the world by the thousands every day through our machines or by hand, I've always been a huge proponent of exterior glazing for our coating, because that's an area that doesn't get a lot of attention like a shower door might. And being an old window cleaner, I really understood the value of it. And I'll tell you a quick story of how I came to understand that. My old partner and I, we had done our first house for one of our regular window cleaning customers. And it was 4 months later, it was time to go back and clean their house. And they had a lot of trees and stuff, so they got dirty quick. And typically he would do the inside of that house and I would clean the outside. And this was 4 months after we treated it. And not only was I done faster than him, which was highly unusual, that just wasn't the case. We realized then, we looked at each other, we go, we can't charge them the same price because we're getting done so much faster. Now we can go do more work. So there was their ROI, and they were happy that they had made that investment in Diamon-Fusion on their whole house. And so again, it's great for all matter of surfaces. Diamon-Fusion, again, we are celebrating our 26 years. We have patents and we do business in multiple countries all over the world. And we're very proud of that history and our coating in of itself, and how the things that we do to promote it and to warranty it. So I said there are two ways to apply it. The first, and I'll show you real quick, a little small version of the FuseCube. The FuseCube is now the automated version of the chamber I talked about. This one is the FuseCube Express. The latest and greatest version of that machine that we developed right before COVID. I was listening to the prospects, people that were interested in the FuseCubes, which came in 25, 50, 75, 100, and on up light size machines. And they ran for about an hour or less. And they were great. We have them on a number of places around the world and domestically. But a lot of people I was listening to were saying, we love the FuseCube, but it's too long. Our productions, we need something faster. We love the FuseCube, but it's too big, the footprint. We love the FuseCube, but this, that, and other thing. And one day it hit me. I knew what to do. We're going to make it smaller, thus making it faster. And we added a few more bells and whistles to it too. And proud to say that that machine, which we launched right at the beginning of COVID, not knowing what the hell was going to happen, right? That machine in about 2 weeks' time, because I got three or four to knock out here in the next 2 weeks, we will have sold and installed 33 of them. So they're very popular. And I think that says a lot about the coating in and of itself and the advantages of a machine. Now, however, we also have we needed to go back into the laboratory years ago, back when I was still in Santa Cruz. Our CEO and our techs, our engineers went back and over several different iterations, and they would send them to me to try. And we wanted something that would mirror the Diamond-Fusion coating, the same effect that I just showed you on that glass sample there. And I didn't like much of what they were sending us, but finally, they came up with the Diamond-Fusion hand-applied version. This is what we put on Nike. It's a two-step process. It's exceedingly simple to apply. There's no cure time. It just can't be easier. I mean, we took a while to get here, but we got here, and we have a lot of glass shops that use this. We have a lot of our machine customers that keep it on hand when they can't fill the FuseCube, so they can just do one-offs and whatnot. It's basically it's a spray and white. We color code the bottles. We color code the spray tops. We make it so simple. And again, we've applied this on many commercial projects. As a matter of fact, Rob, if you would, on that note, would you go to number 8, why you need Diamond-Fusion, please?
Yep, let me get my screen shared here.
There you go.
Sure.
I think we're gonna close that one, Diamond-Fusion, here we go. Boom, number 8. Why?
Why you need. Well, that's the commercial one, but I can use that, I guess. You don't have why you need Diamond-Fusion?
I don't think I have that one. It's the only one I don't have.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll scroll down a little bit and see where we go. See how we touch upon things I wanted to hit on. Well, why don't we watch this little video right here, real quick?
Can y'all hear it?
Nope.
Oh, audio on Zooms.
Yeah, audio on Zoom is tricky.
Oh, okay. Well, at least we can watch. This was something we shot here in Orange County. And this is a great testimonial from the guy who owned the house. I actually did one of his houses. We ended up doing another one of his houses. A lot of glass railings. He was very impressed with the coating and our team in applying it. We did every window, all the glass railings, probably even his shower doors, I imagine. And you can see this is, again, here's an example of the untreated. And then after post-application, we'll see, I haven't watched this video in a long time. You see how the water just beads off and runs dry. Now, I'll be honest with you, even in a shower situation, if the bead of water is so small, the gravity, even as smooth as our coating is, some of those beads of water are just not going to fall. They're just too light. But the beautiful thing is, if they dry on the glass, they wipe right off. They're sitting atop the coating. They're not embedding themselves in the pores of the glass. So you don't have to go out and restore them like we used to do in at Nike, for example. And in the Nike situation, they had beautiful campus. As you know, you've probably seen pictures of it, grass all around it, lake in the middle, all these buildings and so forth. And their windows, the precast in between the windows had leached because there was so much rain, leached on the glass and just destroyed the windows. And they tried everything, and they somehow got a hold of me. And this was very early on after I moved down here, and I'd never done anything that big before. I went up there and I showed them that I could restore the glass by something I developed and some products that we have, and then arrest the situation by applying Diamond-Fusion. And they were very impressed, and we went up there and struggled, but we did the first building was the John McEnroe building. They're all named after athletes. And the last building we did was the Michael Jordan building, the biggest building there. And to this day, if I go up there or to any of my projects that we did, you can scroll down. Let's see what else we got there, Rob. This is an example of work we did at Claremont College. Hard to reach windows that, this, as a matter of fact, this, let me finish my thought. I could go back and spray water on those buildings that I did, the first buildings I did, and they still beat up because we're UV resistant, number one. Now, it's not to say, now with a window, exterior glazing, there's virtually no care taken. Nothing you need to do except clean it like you would a normal window, window would, like a window cleaner would. Soap and water, right? Squeegees don't hurt it, none of that. In a shower door, we say, okay, don't use these products, ammonia-based products or high pH on the base end. A high base on the pH scale. And just do these. We make it very simple. When you're talking about shower doors, the first thing we do as soon as, and I'll get into that a little bit, we warranty the coating for a lifetime on residential surfaces. 15 years on a commercial building, with another 15 if you do a reconditioning. So this one location here, Claremont, this gentleman did a fantastic testimonial for us, where he espoused how we had cut his window cleaning in half, saving him thousands of dollars every year. That was an awesome ROI testimony for us. Can you scroll down for me, Rob? See what we got going on down there. This is some of the technology, kind of what I showed you. I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but it's optically, go back up, please, if you will. Optically clear. It adds brilliance. There's no cure time between coatings or after it. Once you coat it, it's done. You can jump in the shower. It's UV resistant. So that's why I can go back to the Tiffany building, Manhattan in New York City, that we did many, many years ago, and spray the water, and it looks great. That building just shimmers. It's fantastic. It's also oleophobic and scratch resistant, which is really something. There's something to be said, not to say you can't scratch it if you really want to, but it really does resist the incidental scratching, keys and rings and things like that. As a matter of fact, we did all the doors at the California Academy of Science in San Francisco years ago, because they were having a hell of a time cleaning it with all the kids' hands on it and so forth, and people were scratching it, and got a wonderful testimonial from them as well. And it's also impact resistant. Why would that be important? Well, for windshields. Actually, tell the story. It was windshields that got me involved in this. When I was looking at this and looking at becoming a licensee, I didn't understand the technology. I'd put the glass on the water like that. It's cool, whatever. I didn't get it, right? And then I read something about one of the early licensees in Colorado where they had shot BBs at a windshield, one side treated and one side not. And apparently a lot of the BBs were bouncing off the treated side. And quite frankly, I called BS and I didn't believe it. I said, this stuff's good, but I don't believe that. And I went down to a wrecking yard there in Portola in Santa Cruz. You might remember it, Chris. And I got an old windshield, went out in the woods with my kid, did the same test with the BB gun, had my kids stand by the windshield with safety goggles on, by the windshield, down, and shot BBs at it. And he's going, Dad, they're bouncing off the treated side. And let's do it again, And so I got better numbers than they did. And at that point, I never looked back, and I'm glad I didn't. So it's not going to stop bullets, but I've seen it work on windshields. Personally, I've had customers call me when rocks have bounced off their windshield. And we're offered in about 3,000 dealerships around the country, and they warranty against breakage. So I think that says a lot. But yeah, you don't see on that list of technical data sheet anything about being impact resistance, but it is. Let's scroll down, if you will, Rob. Thank you. Aha, there's Nike. As you can see, there's those windows in between the precast that I talked about, and that's after we treated it and cleaned it and coated it. The people would be working inside and thanking us because they could now see out this beautiful view, and we just enhanced we saved them millions of dollars as well in replacement, because that was their only option. So I still get them I can still use them as a referral. If there's ever another on-site project that comes up, they're happy to be a reference. Let's see what else we got going on this page here, Rob. There's a before and after section. There we are at the Manhattan project, the Tiffany building. I think that's in Kentucky, that one there. That's where they had leach. How's that before and after, huh? That was they had condensation running down from the what do you call it, the air conditioners that were outside on the second floor, and they were just dripping down and just looked like hell, and we were able to salvage it and turn it around and make it beautiful. Let's scroll down a little bit. And on the right is the same building I was just talking, the Tiffany building in New York. Quite a project. 2 weeks there in the middle of Manhattan. Not an easy thing to pull off, but really proud of it. That's where I did my first bosun's chair. I'd never. Yeah, I got a picture of me. I got a couple of pictures of me right before I let go. White, literally white. And then when I let go, and the Statue of Liberty behind me. And
Awesome.
it was quite an experience. But these guys, we hired these Ukrainian window cleaners, and they were maniacs. They augmented my ground crew, and they just did a great job for us. Let's see what else we got on this page. Some internationals. There's the California Academy on the right where we did the doors. Oh, and right in the center is the gathering place. That's the last on-site project I ran in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This was an example of not a restoration project. It was new glass, railings, and so hard to read. It's one of those examples. This is why we get the projects, because the architects don't think, oh, it's beautiful, but they don't think, how are we going to clean it? So the head of maintenance there came to that conclusion while they were building it and found out about us and called me out, and I did my thing, used Nike as a referral, so forth. And we went out there. Unfortunately, the glass contractor hadn't finished in time before we were supposed to get out there, and we had to go out there after they were opened. And there were thousands of kids, dozens of buses all day long, and I've got 80-foot boom cranes and my whole crew, and it was quite an operation. But again, we got through it. That's like $1 billion project out there. If you've never heard of it, it's really something. I think that's the end of this page, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, lead points. I can just go on and on. Obviously, you can tell I'm passionate about this. We're almost at the half-hour mark. Is that when you want to start taking questions, Chris?
Yeah. If you could just kind of, if you want to spend a few minutes just kind of wrapping up any thoughts you have.
I'd like to touch on a couple more things real quickly. There's so much. We have, this is the warranty stickers that go on every shower door. It gives a little cleaning tip. But most importantly, it has a warranty code on here. So once the shower is installed, the end user, the customer, can go online and register their shower door or enclosure with us. And then we immediately start educating them what to do, what not to do, how to take care of it. And then if there's ever an issue, we handle it. Our customers don't. We take care of it. 9 times out of 10, we got a solution. We know what the problem was, and it's very seldom. Again, hundreds and thousands of shower doors treated every day with Diamon-Fusion. We simply don't get the calls because we hold the hands and we make sure. This is a same thing for glass railings. You can register your glass railing. Virtually anything can be registered residentially that way with the code. And we're very proud of our customer service, even to the end user. We're very conscientious about our providing the best customer service we can at all times. We're proud of that. Very proud of that about our company. At every we have something called a POP kit, point of purchase kit, and this one right here, it comes with this is for the shower door specifically. It comes with the shaker jar with every one, should anybody be interested in that. But I'd like to, I don't know what everybody, Chris, you buy our coated glass from Oldcastle?
Yeah, that's what I started doing a while back, was just ordering it straight from Oldcastle with the coating, on it already,
And Oldcastle does uses the hand applied version, which, like I said, it mirrors the Diamon-Fusion chemical vapor deposition. We do have a great many number of, right behind me, you see the great many number of FuseCube fabricators that have the FuseCube. Should you want to go down that road, you could find them if you're in the market for that coating. You could also become a hand applied applicator as well. So we make it very flexible depending on your needs. And I'm trying to think about anything else that I really, really wanted to get into. Well, I had all those other links. Maybe I'll end it with some fun.
Nice. I like fun.
A couple things. Let's go to the shower door page number and show that video. Show a couple videos. Do you have shower doors number 2? Let's show them the video. Go back up, please. Oh, there we go. Watch the video right there. Oh, again, no audio, right? And we got a commercial.
Right, right.
Okay, well, imagine what you saw in the other video, but on a shower door. And I won't bother with the FuseCube Express video, but I want to give you an example of how we're also a fun company. When we do installations for our FuseCubes, we like to have fun and we do some crazy stuff. So if you can pull up the Moffett one for us, Rob. It was an attachment. There you go. So we were in Colorado, so we always try to just have a good time, right? And fortunately, our customers are into it. And so in Colorado, you got to have Coors. We're going down the snow, and I'm doing my best Bob Denver right there. And then we have another one. Let's show them the back to the FuseCube. So we're not all business all the time. We like to have a good time. So on that note, we can open it to questions, or I can just whatever you like. If anybody has any questions for me, please fire away.
All right, I have a question, please.
Yeah.
So regarding the warranty, talking about the hand application versus the one that you do on the box, they're the same. It is lifetime warranty for a house application.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vitor?
Yes.
I didn't see you. Can you repeat the question for me, please? I apologize.
Okay, I think I am having an issue with my microphone. So about the warranty for the hand application, it is the same comparing to the one that you do on the machine at the box.
Same, exact same. 15-year residential, 15 commercial with another 15 if you recondition. Absolutely the same. That was very important. We know it was tough because the coding from the machine is really something. I mean, in terms, it's hard to beat, and we fought hard to get something that would mirror it virtually exactly the same, especially in durability. So that's why we can provide that warranty for both. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And what's your recommended time for reconditioning after you've originally applied the coating?
Can you tell me? Okay, go ahead. Finish your question.
Do you have like a suggested time frame for exterior glazing? Is what I would be. Yeah.
Great question. The thing about exterior glazing is, again, that's where I think it really shines, because even though you're subject to a lot of different environmental conditions, the fact is it holds up against all of them very well, and because it's UV resistant. So we have that going for us. Now, when you're maybe in an extreme condition, it's going to depend on the prevailing conditions, I would say. I mean, if you were in the desert and you had sand blowing on it, maybe in about 5-6 years, maybe, but that's extreme. You don't see that. So really, when you don't see the performance of the hydrophobicity, it's as simple as spraying water on the glass.
Okay.
And that's when when you see that, when you first applied and you get that eyeball on that bead, and then a couple of years later, 4 years later, spray that glass. If it's waning, you can pump it up with our reconditioner. We have something called a revitalizer. It's one step. It's very inexpensive, and it's as needed. But the fact is, with exterior glazing, as opposed to some other locations, it just simply doesn't need to be reconditioned. We've yet to recondition any of the commercial buildings we've done or had to have them done.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's and Nike, again, they had all that rain and leaching and so forth, and it hasn't been needed reconditioning. We did that in 2007, the first one.
Okay.
So now there's a caveat to that, and you should read our warranty online. There are, much the same way with a shower door, we like to encourage you. Here's what you can expect. It's not self-cleaning. The windows, the shower door, there's no such thing as self-cleaning glass. And the hardest time, guys are trying to make sales out there, selling our stuff out where it'll never have to touch it again. No, it's not. No, it's about as close as you can get, but there's no such thing. The only cleaning glass is the glass you clean yourself, right? So the caveat with exterior glazing is if there are man-made situations where sprinklers are hitting the window constantly. Okay, remember how I talked about some of the beads not dropping. Okay, let's
Mhm.
going to see some of those beads. The beautiful thing is they're going to clean off. They're not going to be embedding themselves. However, if it continues to happen, now you're going to be building upon itself, still cleanable, still not damaged glass. Still just sitting on top of the coating, but it's not creating corrosion. It's not damaging the glass per se. So when we run into those kinds of situations, we suggest, redirecting the for example, I'll get back to the place in Kentucky that had the air conditioners leaching. I said, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to make it beautiful, but you got to do your part. You got to divert that water. Just put a little, an angle on there or something. And they didn't listen. Well, they called me up, and the great thing was it was no issue. It just needed to be kind of cleaned up a little bit, and then they put on the diverters. So there's some caveats in terms of exposure, but in most part, you just don't see that a lot. It's down low on the ground. Most buildings, most commercial buildings, it's just not like that. And the thing I can attest to, just like the testimonial from the gentleman from the college, you're cutting your cleaning time. Number one, the cleaning is much easier, as I talked about from my experience. Number two, it's you're cleaning much less. So, and it's protected. And also, here's a little, tidbit. This actually, Diamond-Fusion adds more brilliance. Number one, it's a shimmer. It's hard to explain a little bit until you see it, especially up high. But it also, because we've minimized those millions of peaks and valleys in the glass, it increases the clarity of the glass. And I'm going to give you a fun example of that at my expense. I was in Santa Cruz and I was doing a whole house for a real estate agent, and she had a lockbox there, and she wanted everything done. So it was a 2-day project, and I went in and did a whole bunch of it. The next day I came back and I went upstairs, and I was going to take a break, and I looked and I noticed the sliding glass door on the deck was open, or so I thought. I had fused it the day before, both sides. It was that clear. I about put my head right through that thing. I hit it so hard because it was that much clearer and cleaner. So those are anecdotal, but they're true stories. I wouldn't tell that story if it wasn't true. So exterior, I'm a big advocate. Shower doors, yes, number one application for us, but so many other great beneficial air glass areas to apply it to as well.
Okay, and if I may ask a kind of a second 2-part question, referring to both exterior and interior glazing, shower doors and exterior windows, what's the restoration process like prior to applying the coating to older glass? Like if I had a customer that called with a 10 or 15-year-old shower door that was funky, that never had a coating on it before, what is that like for me to restore that glass prior to the application? Is that like a separate product, or is it just elbow grease?
A little both. That's a great question, and that's where I cut my teeth, Brian. Back in the day, that was my forte. That's how I got Nike, because I developed ways to do that. And we had a product called restoration powder, which now we have something also in addition to that called Glass Rescue, which is a paste, something I came up with for another reason altogether, but it turned out it was a great restoration product. And it doesn't matter which one you use, although a lot of people really prefer the Glass Rescue, the paste, just because of the way it works to work with. So a good product like that for just at the core, you need that. And then it's a matter, the way I go about determining how much, what's needed in terms of a restoration, 15-year shower. A lot of people talk about corrosion in stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. I think that's a little arbitrary. I like to go stage 1. What can I do it by hand with a little powder? Stage 2. Okay, do I got to use some Glass Rescue and really bear down on it? Maybe use a cordless drill and we have these. I can hook you up. We got to use a circular pad with it. More often than not, that's what you're going to want to use. It's a circular pad on a power drill, and just to speed the process up. And there's a tool that we get that's flat. Oh God, put some Velcro on it. You get to hold of me. I can hook you up, no problem. And just what I do is I just do a little spot, one square spot, and kind of determine how long that's going to take. Okay, and use a squeegee. I use window cleaning tools when I do restoration. Can't do it without it. That means a good quality squeegee, a good strip washer or mop. You've seen this window cleaners use. You don't want to be using towels, paper towels and stuff. A bucket of water, soapy water, that kind of thing. And so you determine how long that's going to take based on that one area that you did. It may take long, it may become right off depending on the level of damage. But at that point, then you can calculate your time, your labor involved. Now you can either bake that in the price with the price of the coating, or you can separate it out. Typically, I mean, it's apples and oranges. I mean, not apples and oranges, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, I think, in that regard. Just some people appeals to them to have it separated out. But that's a very basic, but really about all there is to it. And once you've restored it, then you go about applying it, and that takes no time at all, and you're done. So I'm glad you asked about that, because it's really near and dear to my heart, because again, I've done a lot of it and save people a lot of money. I know we're in the business of selling glass here, but if they don't want to buy a new one, you have an alternative in your back pocket. Now, in the really badly damaged deep etching, and you got to determine that very quickly, you can restore it, but you're going to probably put microabrasions on that glass. Microabrasions that you can't see straight on. You're not going to see them. Yeah, it looks perfect, right? You get down at an angle and look up, and then the sunlight comes through. Oh, I should see a little bit of, well, that's what you're going to get, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, whatever. And can you live with that, or what do you want to replace it? You want to pay for a new one, or do you want me to go do this for you? I also have another pad, a special pad I developed in Santa Cruz. It's not just the regular white non-abrasive pad. It's a pad I call the Restorbit. And we have some of those still around. We've sold them over the time, but I've used them many times. And basically, it cradles some 4/0 steel wool. That's for really extreme situations. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah,
I got a question.
good enough. Thank you.
Yes.
I saw that Cameron had his hand up. Do you have a question, Cameron?
It was kind of along the same lines as Brian's question, because we get that same question a lot, is because we bought I'd say the bulk of our glass from Oldcastle, so all of our stuff is already coated with DFI. But like to Brian's question is, where to get the restore kit, or how to use it, and some stuff like that.
Well, if you like, actually, we just
Rob's putting it in the chat right now.
Oh, okay.
He's putting a bunch of links in the chat, and I'm going to copy these, and I'll post these when I post the video too. I'll make sure everybody can contact you, and they have all of your links.
Yeah, we've got some videos. Actually, we just produced them. We had some really kind of more primitive, basic stuff, but we just made some more professional ones, and we included that aspect of restoration. Just kind of walks through visually, so you can actually see what we do. It's really, you'll go, oh my gosh, it's very simple. But when you haven't done it, I get it, but once you put your feet in the water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got a question for you.
Shannon.
What is it, Tim? What is it, Tim?
Yeah, so we get it from a fabricator. We don't use Oldcastle, but are they supposed to send you literature on this stuff so you can give it to the customer on how to properly care for it, or how do you go about getting that?
Yes. Can you repeat the very first part? Where do you get it from?
When we get this glass from our fabricator, are they supposed to send out long info, like a brochure or paperwork, so we can give to our customer for proper care of the glass?
And you're telling me your fabricator uses our product for sure, or?
Oh yeah, glass fab.
Oh, glass fab. Okay, you're in California too, I take it.
Yeah.
Well, it should come with a warranty sticker on it,
Well, it comes with a little sticker, and that's,
Just a little circular sticker?
yeah, that's all I get.
Well, that's put that in the chat.
That's unfortunate. What do you say, right?
Old
I
Castle,
don't throw them under the bus, but
Old Castle Fremont does the same thing.
I get the whole thing.
They
Sometimes I
should-
get, yeah, sometimes the sticker's on there, sometimes it's not. You know, you gotta
Yeah, it's not
figure that
all-
like, probably in transit, sometimes those things blow off, I'm sure, you know, but
Well, that should be on. I don't know about being in transit. These are pretty sticky, but I am I'm surprised to hear that. We're really we make sure when we do our installations and training, be it hand applied or the machine, we're very clear to point out, and our marketing department and Cindy, our marketing department VP, does a really great job of reinforcing that as well. We just actually just installed a 125 light FuseCube at Glass Fab, their second machine. So I'm really sorry to hear that, quite frankly.
I mean, I've seen it's on the truck for other people, and I think I have seen the stickers on there.
it's
Well, I
just
got
you,
them the other
Tim.
day
It's
that-
just you. They're not giving you the stickers, man.
So yeah, taking
And you
taking
should have-
advantage of that.
They're purposely ripping them off before they get to
That Tim guy, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. So the next question on fabrication, since this stuff is so slick, around the hinge cutouts, do you tape that off?
How did I know that was coming up? So when you say so slick, we like to say so smooth.
Smooth, yeah.
Smooth.
Yes, because the fact is we've done tests. Now, let me just preface this a little bit. Again, this would be the one difference between hand applied and the the machine applied. If a applicator is putting too much of our hand applied coating on there, there's a possibility. However, any isopropyl alcohol cleaning up that area to take away any excess silicone oil will ensure that it won't slip. Now, the fact is, over the years, people have said, "Oh, it's got to be the coating. It slipped." Well, no. We've actually done some testing.
Yeah, let's blame the coating, man. It's not my
What's that?
fault.
Oh yeah, no, it's not human error, and there's nothing wrong with the hinge. Never. Oh well, we did a test. We've done our internal tests, and we've had independent testing that proves we actually increased the tensile strength. Believe it or not, we didn't either. But when you minimize those peaks and valleys, I'll show you real quick. When you go from
You get more contact, right?
that, you have more contact.
Yeah.
We didn't know that until we spent a lot of money getting it proven. So I don't know if that answers your question, but the fact is the independent testing doesn't lie as far as I'm concerned. There was more to your question than that, though. There was the second half part of it, or am I mistaken?
Well, taping off
Oh,
where the hinges go, so it doesn't.
let me tell you, a handful of our machine customers tape off just out of an abundance of caution. The vast majority of them don't. And if hinges were slipping, we wouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
All that we do. So
And what about silicone sticking?
silicone, I'd be happy to send you some independent testing we've done on 2 or 3 different major manufacturers of silicone, that prove there are no compatibility issues whatsoever, and that it actually sticks. I've personally done the tests. I've done it, and I do the real world thing. I want to really, so I can feel confident. So, but again, we have tests to show no compatibility issues whatsoever.
That's it.
There you go. Lana, did you have a question? So
Yeah,
you
going-
jump in there. Try to make sure everybody gets their questions in.
Please.
I have a question.
Have a glass railing that has already been coated with Enduro Shield. Can you put the Diamon-Fusion?
On top of EnduroShield coating,
I think that's the question.
can you put
Is-
Diamon-Fusion on top of a pre-existing coating? Yeah, you can do it, but it won't work. Knock yourself out. You'll get a fake result. it won't be, what we need is contact with the silica dioxide in the glass. So
Gotcha.
without that, it's just, you're just wiping something on there. It's not doing what it needs to do.
Okay.
Now you
Okay.
can-
Well, I
now you
hate to hear that.
You hate, well, if I hate to hear that, you say?
I hate to hear that I can't put the Diamond-Fusion on top of the Enduro Shield.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. What situation might you might want to do that in, may I ask?
Well, it's a railing that's going to be.
Oh, you went, oh, there you go.
It's a railing that's going around my personal pool at home, and we have the glass in, and it's already been.
Oh, you keep muting yourself.
Stay on. I've got audio problems here. Can you hear me?
Yes. You put the
Okay.
glass in,
Yeah.
and what happened?
We haven't put it in yet.
Oh,
We have the glass at the warehouse. We haven't installed it yet.
I see.
It's already been coated, in the factory with the Enduro Shield.
I see. Well, just throwing it out there, one of the options could be, if you wanted to, is our glass rescue. When I designed it for a purpose to remove pre-existing coatings. So beyond being a great restoration of hard water, it actually does help remove, as opposed to the powder, it does help remove existing coatings. It takes a little work, but at this point, I want to be very careful not to be derogatory towards anybody or anything, but I think you might want to consider trying that if you really want Diamond-Fusion.
Yeah. That's a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but that's the only option I have for you, because I don't want to lie. You can't. It's got to be. The substrate's got to be silica.
I figured that was the answer, but I thought I'd give it a shot. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good question, Lana. I think a lot of us had that question, can you like cross,
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Is the chemistry the same for the hand applied as it is for like your cube?
No, as a matter of fact, great question. So the chemical, the chemical we use for the chemical vapor deposition process, which is what the FuseCube does, are silanes. And the way it works is, just to give you a little background on the machine and how it works, is we have what's called cartridges that are that have a prescribed amount of chemical depending on the size of the cube, and which, if it's the Express or one of the regular cubes, and air is introduced into those cartridges, agitates that chemical. That chemical then comes out as a vapor and is introduced and circulated inside the machine. There's a little more few things than that. We need some humidification, some exhaust and so forth. And that repeats the process, 2 different chemicals. So you could take that chemical out of the cartridges, and you wouldn't want to, but you could apply it on glass and you get the coating. Now with the Diamond-Fusion hand applied, it's a close chemically, but it's not in other ways. And you couldn't put this in a FuseCube and make it work, to answer your question in very basic terms. So, but again, we needed an easier way for people to apply it than I was, like I talked about with that suit and tank of nitrogen and all that. It's kind of dangerous, right? So that's why they wanted to develop something years ago to make it easier to apply, but to make it so it mimics exactly what you get out of the machine, so we could warranty the same. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah.
it's different, but the same result, basically. Different chemistry, same result.
For the hand applied version, do you guys also sell for glass shops or only for fabricators?
Oh no, we sell the glass shops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many square footage we can cover?
That 500 milliliter set that I just showed you, believe it or not, we have the highest yields out there, and this will do 1,500 square feet.
Okay.
which is so, and we're the one, I don't know about others, but I am a big proponent for just use what you need. A lot of people think more is better. It's not the case with our coding. It goes a little bit, goes a long way. Again, 1,500 square feet, that's a lot of shower doors. So whereas some others come in gallons, this is typically how we come. And it goes a long way, and needless to say, the margins are very good on that going. I know from personal experience, and do a lot of other people. So, but we do, if you have a fabricator, we advocate for considering getting it coated already. It's up to you. It's your choice. That's flexible.
Well, that's
Yeah,
a
one
good
more
segue
question.
for pricing.
Pardon?
That's a good segue for pricing.
Oh,
Right?
I knew as soon as I opened my mouth. Well, let me say, it depends on how much you buy. Let me put it that way, Brad.
Starts at
I just keep loading up a truck until it's free.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm not going to on this forum give out pricing, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you contacted me personally with what I tell you. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess so. We right now use EnduraShield. I used to use ClearShield at one time. I just wanted to know what kind of comparison we'd be looking at. That's all.
Well, I'd like to know what you were buying it at, and how much square footage. I think I know what their square footages are. I used to. Let me put it this way. Typically, if you were to buy one set, you're paying about, generally speaking, anywhere from 55, 60 cents a square foot. I don't know what you charge per square foot, but most of the people who use it charge upwards of $5, $6 a square foot. So depending. So that should give you some indication as to the margins.
And then as far as applying it, you put the first step on. You don't have to wait very long to do the second step. Is that correct?
You don't have to wait at all.
Okay.
There's no cure time. And then once you're done, there's no cure time.
Would you like maybe clean with alcohol first, like isopropyl alcohol first, and then do the first step and then the second step?
Exactly. Are we talking new glass?
Yes.
Yeah. Isopropyl, sprayway, any one of those things, as long as they're ammonia free.
Get it clean. Just get it clean, right?
You get it clean. Yeah. And as long as it's new glass, it's going to take to it like that. And you'll be done in no time. It's no cure time. I have a technique I'll just lay on you. Since there is some alcohol in there. And if you're working outside, in particular, you want to work in the shade. But if you're in a shop and you're applying it, I like to, most people work horizontally. It doesn't matter if you want to work vertically or horizontally. But the first thing you want to do is, so I work in thirds in a normal shower door. I work in a spray, maybe two on one section. Spread it out up and down, north and south, east and west, and then circular overlapping motions. Move on. Do the second section with D1, third section with D1. Go back and start doing D2 the same way, and you're done. It couldn't be simpler.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's our time. I mean, you nailed it perfectly. Exactly 6:30. Carl, thanks again so much for coming and doing this tonight, man. It's great seeing you again.
Likewise.
And we're going to post all of your info when we post this to YouTube and in the group. I'll put in your email address. I'll put in your website and those other links that Rob so generously posted in the chat group. You can also get those right out of the chat if you want to, if you're on this call. I mean, that's one of the benefits of joining the call each week. So
awesome. Thank you, Chris. And I want to thank everybody for joining. It was an honor to be here, quite frankly, and to reconnect with you this way, Chris. And great questions, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Hey, have a great
Bye.
week. We'll see you next Wednesday.